Today I'll be reviewing the Ibanez RGRTBB21. So before getting into more detail, I'm just going to quickly go over some of the hardware on this. So this has a Wizard 3 baritone 5-piece maple walnut neck, and it's actually a neck through. The fingerboard is going to be ebony, and they are jumbo frets, 24 frets. It has a monorail bridge. It has DiMarzio deactivator pickups for both the neck and the bridge. The body is going to be Nyato, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it does come with some Luminlay inserts. It has a 3-way pickup selector with a volume knob, and you get a tone knob. It has Goto MGT locking machine head tuners. And it's a 28-inch scale guitar. So I'm going to start with the pros of this guitar. I'm going to start with the deactivator pickups. I actually really like these a lot. I'm coming from the Ibanez RGA series, so just their basic in-house production pickups, and these are leagues above it. One thing to note is that they can be a little boxy, so dipping around the 200 to 500 hertz, you can get rid of most of those ailments. For me, I find it super tight, super responsive. The low end is amazing. I have this guitar set up in drop F, and honestly it handles it with no problem, as you heard in the demo. Even the clean tones are actually really nice. The top end is super HD, for lack of a better word. Lots of clarity, lots of response. Another thing I really like about this guitar is just the overall feel. It's just really form-fitting. It's not too thick, not too thin. Again, coming from an RGA, this is a little bit thicker, but I really don't mind it that much. It's a little heavier too, but not too top heavy. Obviously, another great thing that I love about this guitar is that it's just blackout. I mean, even the logo is blacked out on this. It's so nice. Of course, because it is a matte finish, you're gonna get the little kind of like grease stains and smudging, and I've had this guitar for about 2 months and I'm already getting that kind of shine over here from where my palm goes, but that's kind of to be expected with anything that's matted. The neck is holding up pretty well too, not too bad either. Not really guitarist, you know, I'm really just playing rhythm, and that's why I decided to go with this. I did try the RGI XL7, but the thing is, again, I'm not a shreddy person. I love rhythm. Like, I have no use for that extra string. So if you're like me and you need something that you want to tune low in, but you don't want to go for like a 7 or 8 string, I think it's a really good option. Another thing that's like worth noting is that, you know, it's a 28-inch scale guitar. So it's long, but not uncomfortable at all. Like, you can reach pretty easy to everywhere you need to go. Like, it is so comfortable. The jumbo frets really help. I find when I go back to my other RGA, it just feels tiny in comparison. So I was worried about the scale length, but my God, it feels so really good. The reason why I also wanted to go with a baritone, you know, as stated, is that I'm not a shreddy player. So if I got a 7 or an 8, to me, I'm technically gaining 2 high strings as opposed to gaining lower strings. And with pretty small hands, and again, someone who's just not technical, it doesn't make sense for me. So to me, that's why I got my eyes set on this compared to other ones. Now I'm going to be moving on to some of the cons, and to me there's only one big one, and it's the thickness of the neck. This is a seriously thick neck. I don't know why they decide to go with such a thick neck when they have an RGI XL 7, so a 7 string. It is 27.5 inches. My friend has it. I tried it, but it is noticeably thinner. So I know there's the RGRTBB21, which is also a 28-inch baritone. And from the only other review that I could find about this guitar on YouTube, he does a comparison and mentions that that guitar has a much thinner neck. So it was some kind of stylistic choice to go with such a thick neck. Again, to me, I just feel like the comfortability, the tightness, the response, and everything was kind of worth the trade-off to sacrifice the bigger neck. Again, my hand has gotten used to it, but it's still something I really am considering getting shaved down and repainted, just because to me that's the only downside of this guitar. It's super comfortable, super fun to play. The pickups sound amazing. The hardware is great. It's responsive. Again, 28 inches. I'm in drop F with no problem. I have a 74 on here. You know, like, I don't like my strings super tight, and it has no problem holding this tuning at all. Another super minor complaint, honestly, is just the lumen lays. They're super cool. They're beautiful. I love lighting them up, but they for real don't last more than like 5 minutes. Now, I'm lucky and I'm not really going on stage with this, so it doesn't matter, but that I could see that being a huge pain in the ass. It's if between every song you're having to light up your things, you know, your markers, because you don't have any markers on the front, so you can't, you know, if you're on stage, you look down real quick and, you know, nothing's lit, it's really dark. You're kind of relying on these. So the lumen lays, that's, you know, something to be desired. I hope in the next iteration you can have them last longer or something of that matter. Super happy with this guitar. Again, super comfortable, amazing response, tight pickups. You know, I actually really enjoyed that the frets are quite large. It's not exaggerated either. When I compare it to my other guitar, it looks like maybe a first fret's worth of difference between that guitar and this guitar. So it's not stupidly big. It's not super heavy either. It feels premium. That's one thing to really notice, especially coming from an RGA. This is super premium feeling. Everything just feels sturdy. The Godot locking turners are fantastic. The bridge too, it's so comfortable. There's no cutting on your hands or anything. Who this guitar is for, it's super obvious even in the name. This is an Iron Label series guitar, so this is for metal. Everything completely blacked out, the blacked out logo, pickups, everything all the way through is for metal. And that's what I am through and through. I'm a metal player. That's why I got this. I needed something to tune super low that I could just absolutely chug on, and this handles that no problem. If that's something you're planning to do, it's really worth considering this guitar just for that. Yes, you can get really nice clean tones, and honestly, that's the thing that surprised me the most, is when I have a nice clean tone on this, these pickups, at least to my surprise, were super articulate and clean. The bridge is very thick, but that's to be expected just because I am in drop F, so everything is gonna sound thick, but it's not that it's bad by any means. The second I get off that low F, everything is nice and buttery smooth. I highly recommend this guitar if you want to really down tune like me, and I'm talking past A, because in my opinion, every 25.5 inch guitar can go to A pretty much no problem. This at 28, I'm not joking, you can go to double drop D no problem. You put the right string gauge, you're in double drop D. I'm in drop F, and again, it holds tuning perfectly. It's super tight, responsive. Looking for a guitar that you want to tune super low and not worry about having extra strings. If you're not that kind of player, honestly, definitely go try this. Again, the neck is something to be cautious about. Try it out before you buy it. That's what I did. I still think it's worth the compromise for how good this guitar feels and plays. To me, it was a must-have. So thanks for checking out my review. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get to them. And please like and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much.